Chapter 8, Lesson 3 is understanding and working with compound inequalities. Compound inequalities are two inequalities put together. Two inequalities put together. First one says r is greater than 2 and less than 6. So if it's bigger than 2 and smaller than 6, the number is basically between 2 and 6. So we have 2 is smaller than x, x is smaller than 6. And notice this number, this letter, is between 2 and 6. When we graph it, it's going to be the same way. We're going to have an open circle on 2, an open circle on 6, and notice I just drew those two numbers in there, and then everything between them colored in. The second one, r is greater than or equal to 2 and less than or equal to 6. Again, we're talking between 2 and 6, but now we can include the 2 and we can include the 6, everything between those. This is actually called an intersection, and that's the symbol right there for intersection. And basically, this is the crossover of two inequalities. There's one inequality like that. There's a second inequality like that. And just like if you have two streets that cross each other, it's called an intersection. This is two graphs that cross each other, and this is the intersection, or this is the part that's on both graphs. Now we have this or, and here there are two parts to the graph. X can be smaller than 2, so it can be over here, or it can be bigger than 6, or it can be over here. And this is called a union. And the next one is very, very similar, only now we can include the endpoints. X is less than or equal to 2, so we're going to have a closed circle. X is greater than or equal to 6, and that is also called a union. In our next examples, we need to graph these. -4 is our lower endpoint with an open circle. 4 is our upper endpoint with a closed circle. And since the letter is in between, we want everything between those colored in. Number 2, x is less than or equal to -1. Number 2, second part, x is greater than 2, and notice that's an open circle. This one is called a union, when we need to take the left side and the right side and join them together, and this one is called an intersection. Number 3, sometimes this happens where your graph isn't quite big enough, you just need to extend it. -6 is less than x, less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 1. So those both have closed circles, and then everything in between them colored in. That is also an intersection. Number 4, x is less than or equal to -2. So over here, x is greater than or equal to 4 over here, and this is called a union. Number 5, we need to write some inequalities to match this. These numbers are less than or equal to -8. These numbers right here are greater than 0. And since that has the or there, That's called the union. Number 6, -2 is our lower boundary. 5 is our upper boundary. And those are both less than. This is an intersection. Number 7, -9 is less than x is less than -2. That is an intersection. Number 8, x is less than or equal to -3, or x is greater than or equal to 2. There's two different parts, and we have to join them, so that is a union. Number 9, a local company is hiring trainees with less than 1 year of experience and managers with 5 or more years of experience. So less than 1 year would be x is less than 1. 5 or more years of experience would be x is greater than or equal to 5. Number 10, free chlorine in a pool should be between 1 and 3 parts per million inclusive. 1 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 3, and that inclusive means we have these equal to signs. This is an intersection, and this is a union. Intersection, again, is the part that is in both sets. The part that is in both sets. And I sometimes like to call that the overlap. Intersection is the part that is in both sets, and that's the intersection. Union is this symbol, and that's when you put the two parts together. (11) through 14, we need to solve these. And now we have 3 sides to our inequality. We have a left, a center, and a right. So we're going to subtract 2 from all 3 sides. And that becomes 2 is less than or equal to x is less than 6. We have a closed circle on the 2. Extend your number line a little bit. Open circle on the 6. And everything between those two colored in. That one is an intersection. Number 12, we solve this one. We add 4 to both sides, and that becomes a is greater than 5. So we have an open circle on the 5, everything greater than. Number 12, we add 4 to both sides, and that becomes a is less than 1. We have an open circle on the 1, and everything to the left colored in, and that one is a union. Number 13, first we're going to add 1 to all 3 sides, and that becomes 9 is less than 3x is less than 12. From there, we divide all 3 sides by 3, and you have 3 is less than x is less than or equal to 4. We have an open circle on the 3, closed circle on the 4, and everything between those. That is called an intersection. And number 14, when we divide both sides by 2, that is x is less than or equal to 3. And then when we divide these by 3, x is greater than 4. Open circle on 4, everything to the right, and that is called a union.